Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Sunday online Won Dharma Center service. There was one young man who had a car accident at the crossroad. His car was completely wrecked, and he barely crawled out of his vehicle. In order to check his body with his finger, he poked each and every part of his body, and each and every area of his body hurt very much. He was hospitalized, and he asked, all his body is very aching. He told that to the doctor. The doctor examined him and said, Mister, you are fine. You just broke your finger. Just like that man, since his finger was broken, when he poked his body, each and every part of his body felt pain. When our mind is wrong, if we cannot use our mind well, then it's manifested in our life. So as we know, the essence of the Buddha's teaching is everything is of our mind's creation, which means if there is something wrong in our life, there must be some wrong area in our mind. So conversely, we can change our destiny by our mind practice. They say spiritual practice is working with our mind. But think about that. Whether it's breaking our bad habits, or forgiving others, letting go our comparing mind, jealousy, or resentment. It's up to our decision or mind, but it's not that easy. That's why Buddha said spiritual practice is a spiritual warfare that arises in our mind field. We are constantly fight with some invisible enemy in our mind. Just like in all battles, in order to win the battle, what's very critical thing is having a good ally. Having a wonderful, friendly troops make a very big difference to win the battle. So what could be the friendly troops? Maybe a very good teacher or a wonderful Dharma friends, etc. They can be a good ally, but the true ally is within ourselves. Faith, zeal, questioning mind, and dedication. Sotaesan, the founding master of Won Buddhism, said these four kinds of ally, he called that four articles to progress. Four articles to progress, to win the battle that arises in our mind. Let me read one verse from his discourse. A disciple asked, not only is my innate ability dull, but I have only been practicing for a short time. I don't know when I shall ever succeed, what shall I do? The founding master said, practice in spiritual traditions has little to do with one's innate ability or with how long one has practiced. It depends only on whether or not a person can exert oneself in faith, zeal, questioning, and dedication. Anyone who has wholehearted belief, zeal, questioning, and dedication can be certain of a speedy success. Changsan, our second head Dharma master, said, if you apply these 4 articles to progress to your work, then you will succeed in your occupation. If you apply these 4 articles to your practice, you will be successful in your practice. They say spiritual practice is a journey to nirvana, complete liberated state of mind. So what happens when we embark our journey? Let's say we are driving to some destination called the nirvana, then we have to know the path. If we are not sure of which road is the best, we cannot even start the journey. So we have to have a very good map or great navigator we can trust. So we already meet the Buddha Dharma, which is the map, which is the path to liberation. So the first article or element for our successful practice is having very strong faith in the Dharma, the teaching of the Buddha. Faith is the first article. The second article, zeal. This is what I would like to talk today. Even though we trust the path, we realized this is the shortcut. This is not the detour. But when we drive our vehicle on and off, we encounter many obstacles. For example, when you hike to the top of the Catskill Mountain, then there are always up and downs, some challenging, steep area, which we cannot avoid. Think about that in our daily basis, or always there is some difficult situation that arises in our mind. In that particular situation, how could we overcome those obstacles? The solution can be very diverse depending on the situation. But the common thing, this is the thing we all have to possess to overcome all those obstacles, is a kind of a courage, passion, zeal. The zeal, this Chinese character literally means bun. Bun means anger. The literal meaning of bun is anger. When do you think your mind is the most focused, without any wandering thoughts? When you are very mad, when you are very angry, your mind is so much concentrated. You don't have any wandering thoughts. Just like the anger invoke a lot of energy and focus. So we need a very positive or holy anger or that kind of energy to make anything that we try to accomplish successful. So the definition of zeal, according to the Won Buddhist canon, is like that. Zeal means a mind that heroically moves forward, which is the motive force that encourages and pushes us along when we try to accomplish anything. Another translation, courage, which means the disposition of a heroic progress, is the motivating force of encouragement and acceleration when one tries to accomplish anything. Let's pay attention. It says anything. Not only our spiritual practice area, anything. Any kind of a life goal we would like to accomplish. It can be the career in our workplace or whatever thing they are. So this is the motivating force when we move forward, when we are tempted to stop or give up. I think you know the Hyundai, the car manufacturing company. The Hyundai not only make cars, but also they make ships, heavy machines, they build road. One of the biggest company in the world. This is the story of the founder of Hyundai, Jung Ju-young, Mr. Jung. He was born in a small town currently located in North Korea. He just graduated elementary school. His father was a tenant farmer, extremely poor. When he was in his mid-teens, he thought about his future and probably I will stay in this town and become a farmer. Probably my life would not become that different from my father's or other village people. So at the age of 16, he left his hometown without saying anything to his parents and settled the Incheon, the port city, and he worked as a manual laborer on construction field. His job is usual. He just graduated elementary school. He basically moved the very heavy materials at the deck. And he collected a little money, and then he started a very small business. But in a couple of years, he got bankrupt. He felt very sorry about that situation and about himself. And he shut himself in the room, and he was so depressed. It was a summertime. He could not have a very sound sleep because of so many fleas. Fleas bit lots of parts of his body. So he cleaned his clothes and changed the bed sheets, etc. But still, there were lots of fleas on his body. So he examined the situation and discovered the fleas crawled up to the legs of his bed and approached him. So he thought about one idea. He prepared 4 bowls filled with water and put his bed under the water bowl. Put his bed, 4 legs of his bed under the water bowl, so that the fleas cannot reach the legs of the bed. He thought fleas are not good swimmer. Finally, he could have a very sound sleep. But in a couple of days, he was bitten by fleas. He could not understand how the fleas could approach him. And he discovered, since the fleas cannot swim, so they cannot approach to the legs of the bed, they crawled up the wall, and up to the ceiling, and dropped themselves on his body. That's how they approached Mr. John. He was very much impressed by the behavior of the thieves. At the time, I think he was in his mid-20s. Wow. He had no money, no friends, and he just gave up after his first business bankrupt. But he felt very sorry about himself. But these fleas never give up to accomplish their goal. He got a great lesson from the fleas. And then he collected his mind and started a new business. And that small business eventually grew to Hyundai, one of the biggest company in the whole world. Let's think about the common factor, the common ground of all heroes in this world, or saints and the sages. We all know the story. Shakyamuni Buddha, at the age of 29, he left the palace and performed all kinds of ascetic practice at Himalayas, but he could not reach great enlightenment. So at the age of 35, he finally set himself under the Bodhi tree, and he made his mind, and he vowed, even though all my flesh decays, all my bones got broken apart, if I will not attain supreme enlightenment, I will not leave this place. He made his mind. And that night, he attained the supreme light. My teacher told me, he asked one day, do you know why chickens do not have ticks or fleas on their body? Matt, do you know? For example, our hammy dogs has many fleas, some insects on their body. But chickens don't have insects on their body. The reason is their blood is very, very hot. The body is very hot. The fleas, ticks cannot live on their body. So my teacher told me, when our mind is boiling, our blood is boiling with a greater passion, courage, zeal, then we can make it. In whatever area. Probably, if you could not accomplish some goal you'd like to achieve, maybe this might be the reason. You already know the path. You know how to achieve there, but you did not do your best with a great zeal or passion. There is a legendary army general in China, Bang Dek. One day, he entered a battlefield whose winning depends on the destiny of the nation. It's a very, very critical battle. When he entered the battlefield, he attached a wooden coffin to his horse. The king really loved that army general. What does that mean? I will win this battle for my life. In order to win this battle, or I will die in this battlefield. You can put my body in the coffin. So especially we practitioners need this kind of a spirit. Fight with some invisible enemy for our life. All saints and the sages have this kind of a spirit. When you go to the Asia Buddhist temple, the main temple is called Daeungjeon, where the Shakyamuni Buddha is enshrined. Do you know what Daeungjeon literally means? Daeung means a great hero. Jeon means hall, residence. Which means Shakyamuni Buddha is a great hero to conquer all kinds of mental obstacles. It can be laziness, it can be greed, it can be doubt, it can be ignorance. That's why it's called the great hero. The name of the Buddha hall is called the Hall of a Great Hero. So why don't you close your eyes for 1 minute and contemplate, do I really have this kind of a spirit or mindset? If you don't have, if the light or fire is not strong enough, you can rekindle the fire today, not tomorrow, from today. And if the fire is too weak, then we can plant the seed of a great vow, belief, and zeal in our mind. As long as we have these 4 articles, we will definitely become successful in our life. Yeah, let's meditate for 1 minute.